Hey everyone, it's Tiffany, and you found me on the Wise Skies channel. WiseSkiesCollective.com is our company, and you can reach us for metaphysical counseling sessions or to join our membership to get ongoing training in psychic development, astrology, human design, and many other platforms. So I'm so glad you're here. I'm doing a little tarot reading today, going through every sign in the zodiac, Aries all the way through Pisces. Before we get started, I like to give you a little glimpse at what's going on in the astrology this week. So I'm recording for October 14th, and this is a time in the astrology when the energy takes an upturn, right? So it's kind of a good, I guess, forecast before we go into our readings. The energy should be going further up because Venus is trining Saturn, and so I believe it's exact on the 14th. So commitments, right? Things that feel like good, long-term, steady energy. We all deserve more unconditional love, not less, on this path. And so this is a good shift where we're able to make headway with Saturn things that are like these long-term structural things. This is when like my granddad got us all of the grandkids USAA accounts. He was in the military and served our country in the military. And so this would be something like that, like setting up something for a long-term future, right? Venus rules love and money, and Saturn gives us structure and discipline. And so, you know, Venus, the goddess, structure with goddess-like things, like where's your daily routine or discipline for self-care, stuff like that can come into play too, but it feels good. So keep an eye on the 22nd if you're a lovebird or in love or looking for love, because Venus will cazimi be in the heart of the sun. Venus will be right by the sun. And so this is a good time, and it's an auspicious time. It usually happens only once a year, right? So very pleasurable transit when we can enjoy the sweeter things in life, right? Very powerful transit. So keep your eye on that one. We've got a third quarter moon in 24 degrees of Cancer, and the same day Mercury will leave its shadow zone in Libra. This is the 17th. This feels like harvest time. This feels like the karma boomerang. You know, what have you been working on the last 2.5 years in this lunar family cycle? This is when it comes to fruition and the bill is paid and you get the fruit off the tree, right? The harvest time. So the sun is going to trine Mars and Venus over the next couple of days. This gives us support and stamina and energy and drive. And like I said, it's just a general uptick in the energy. So check it out at the calendar page at wiseskiescollective.com. The 2023 calendar is here. Check it out. All the kinks have been worked out. It's good to go. Let me know if you have any issues. I'm happy to help you. I've just asked our group if you would like to see the planner in paper form. So if that's something, you know, the digital calendar that you were like, oh, I really want to have that as a journal. It's something we did a couple of years ago, and I'm considering bringing it back. So please let me know if that's something that you would like to see come back around. And let's get started. Let's just look at the cards and see what it is our Aries friends have in store for the weekend ahead. So let's clear the deck for Aries and see what it is our Aries need to hear. Just some practical advice or guidance. Okay, I'm using the Guardian of the Night deck. So for Aries, we have a Knight of Wands and a Hierophant. Okay, so this is much like, what are you dedicated to with your physical health? What are you dedicated to in taking action? And I feel like Aries, you're just, if there's an area that you're frustrated in, I don't think that you're going to get relief until you take some action. A lot of times it's like, don't just do something, sit there. But this isn't one of those times. This is something that you need to actually do something about, that you don't need to wait on, that this is something that if you would just take the next right step, not the next step right, I feel like it would be really helpful to you at this time. The Hierophant also reminds me of the things that we're devoted to. So this could look like church service. It could look like your yoga mat. It could look like your lover, your partner, your holy matrimony, right? The things that you're really hold dear and sacred to you. All right, so taking some action in that department might be a useful message for you this weekend. Okay, and then let's clear for Taurus. What is it that our Taurus need to hear for the weekend ahead? Some practical advice or guidance. Let's see. All right, Taurus, 10 of Swords and an Empress card. And so I feel like some of you guys are beating yourselves up for being in this period, this waiting period. You know, the Empress is a beautiful card of fertility and springtime energy and pregnancy and femininity, you know, the best time of your life, right? Like the best time of the feminine cycle. And so the Ten of Swords, though, it just means the worst is over in some ways, right? It means like we've gone through a lot. There's all these swords in the back of, I don't know, in this card, it looks more like it looks like a baby bird. That's sad, but it looks like, you know, it looks like the fight is over, right? So if you'll just surrender is the card. Surrender to the timing of your life. It might not be the timing that you had chosen or picked or expected or wanted, but this is really about surrendering to the fruits that are coming, right? The Empress is that card of pregnancy. So there are fruits that are coming, right? So there's not much that you have to worry about. So you can be happy or you can be sad, but it's a lot more fun to be happy, as my Uncle Bill used to say. All right, let's clear the deck for Gemini. What is it that our Gemini needs to hear? Some practical advice or guidance for our Geminis. All right, we get a High Priestess card and a Seven of Wands. Okay, now this can feel like you're all alone. You know, it can feel, Gemini, like you're kind of taking your power back and you need to take a step back and you need to reassess things. Actually, other people's energy is kind of clouding your vision of what you need to do, and it makes you feel like you should be this or you should be that. Well, you shouldn't. You don't need that input right now. You actually need to unplug, take a step back, and get back into connection with yourself, your source, your creator energy, right? This High Priestess card, it does indicate some alone time to unplug and get spiritual, right? Just to take it to spirit, to take it to the spiritual helpers that you have, as opposed to the physical helpers. Sometimes people are trying to help you and it feels like control. They think they're giving you advice, but you're feeling it as control. And so you can just say, thank you for that perspective. I'm going to sit with it for a little bit. Okay. All right, Gemini. Now let's clear for Cancer. What is it that our Cancer friends need to hear? Some practical advice or guidance for the weekend ahead. Just clearing for Cancer. Okay, we've got a Six of Cups here, right? And a Three of Swords. Okay, so some of you Cancers have been dealing with some heartache, heartbreak, or even heart issues in your own family system. And so I would say this is a time to connect with the heart, you know, like if you're breaking your own heart or your heart's being broken wide open, right? This is the Six of Cups is actually a card of generosity and loving exchanges, blast from the past, remembering your childhood. I know not everybody had a perfect childhood, but if you can remember some part of your innocence and youth and the hope that you had, that's going to be the medicine to heal any issues going on with the heart right now. And so looking at the Heart Math Institute, looking at some of the yoga postures for opening the heart openers, looking at changes in diet, right? Dean Ornish has a great book about reversing heart disease. That could be something for you to look at too. Okay, so Cancer is working on mending a broken heart through connecting with their own inner joy and innocence and hope from their youth. Okay. Okay, let's clear for our Leos. What is it that our Leos need to hear for the weekend ahead? Gosh, this deck shuffles so good. All right, Leos, we get a Nine of Cups. Beautiful. What do you want to show off? What do you want to display? What do you want to share with the world, right, Leos? And then the Devil card. Aren't these gorgeous? So, Leo, I feel like you're obsessed about something, and you can use that in a healthy obsession, or you can use it to your own detriment. So get in touch with the things that you would say like you're obsessed about, and see if it's in a healthy place or if it needs some rebalancing, right? That's what I would look at. The Devil card usually comes up when we're really having these frustrating experiences with sex and money. Those are the two that I see the most in my clients. Okay, so the Devil card, it's like these kind of demons, or these like monkey on your back, or this like thing that kind of holds you down and out of the present moment because you're worried about something, and you kind of get these obsessive tendencies. This could be OCD, right? This could be OCD about how you look, what your clothes are like. It could be OCD about material things that don't matter so much. You know what I mean? So how can you get in check with some of these themes? The Nine of Cups is a time when you can really celebrate the luxuries and celebrate, you're not in survival mode, basically, right? Like you're out of survival mode, and maybe some of the things that you're worrying about could get a little reality check, right? Okay. All right. Let's clear for our said with love and deliver. I'm just the messenger, right? All right, Leos, I love you guys. Now let's clear for our Virgos. Let's clear for Virgos. Any Virgos watching need to see the Fool card. So starting over, this is a zero balance field. This is a quartz crystal energy. You know, there was a time when the crystals were the only medicines that we had, right? And so this Fool card helps you get this starting over, this quartz energy. It feels like you're doing something foolish, but you just got to do it. You know, this is quitting your job without a plan. This is not really adhering to a plan, just knowing that it's not this anymore, and I'm ready to start something else. I'm ready to go forward innocently. Also getting the Devil card here. So something that you've been obsessing about is really dragging you down. It's just time for that fresh approach, Virgo. You don't really have to think about it, obsess about it much more. It's just at some point you'll have had enough, you know, enough will be enough, and you'll be able to make a choice for yourself to jump out of the building and grow wings on your way down. You know, it can be very scary, but I think it's like when you're trying not to puke and you're just like, whoa, and you're feeling sicker and sicker and sicker. And then at some point you just puke and you feel so much better, right? It's like that. Like as soon as you let go, you're going to feel so much better, but spirit can't help you until you make the decision to really let go. All right, let's clear for our Libras. What is it our Libras need to hear? Libra season 2. Okay, just clearing the deck for our Libras. Some practical advice or guidance. Finally, we get some good news here. The 10 of Pentacles. This is that feeling of abundance and wealth, and that the harvest is coming in. So maybe with that third quarter moon, Libra, that you're really feeling a sense of like, oh, I can relax at home. I can be at home in my own body. I can be at home with my belief system. I can be at home with wherever I go. You know, this is a card of wealth and income and generosity. And we've got a 2 of Swords here. So you're going to get to make a decision, right? You're going to have a big financial decision to make. And can you be balanced in your financial decisions? You don't have to give it all away. You don't have to hoard it all. Is there some way that you can just work in some balance into your financial decisions, I would say. Sometimes we swing, we're way over on one side of the pendulum, and then like, let's say we spend way too much, and then we go over here and we don't spend anything. It's like, can we just find the middle road with your finances and really to be a good steward of the wealth you've been given, right? Okay. After Libra comes Scorpio. Let's just clear the deck for Scorpios and just ask Spirit to sit forward once more with clear, concise, accurate information. Okay, Scorpios, Queen of Pentacles and the Justice card. So this also is a card of home, feeling at home. Isn't that a beautiful one? Reminds me of all the cows in India. The Queen of Pentacles, this is when you walk into the house and everything's fresh and the sheets are clean, and you know, it just feels good. Like there's something roasting in the oven, and there's a sense of being able to relax, you know, that you've done the hard work and now is the time to relax, that justice is being served. That can mean a lot of different things, but what I usually end up telling people is that you don't have to get your sticky fingers into fixing things. And so if you feel like the urgency to fix something out there, just come back to your home and get it in order first, right? Like come back to your house, organize something there, stay out of other people's business, and just ask for spiritual help in balancing out the things that feel off to you or feel sticky to you or feel wrong to you. Just come back to your own house, clean your side of the street up, you know, organize your junk drawer, and just keep it. That's it. That's the message. I don't have another way to put it. Okay, let's clear for Sagittarius. What is it that our Sagittarius need to hear for the weekend ahead? Just clearing for Sag. Okay. As the visions come in, and pulling over the Six of Cups and the Page of Swords here. So somebody that's been very generous with you, that it's like, don't forget the people that have been very generous to you, is how I would say this. Don't forget the great love and support that you've received this far, right? Like, this is a way for you to experience gratitude for the support that you have. And I would also say this Page of Swords reminds me always about taking a new perspective on something. And so taking a new perspective on generosity in your life. You know, what does it mean to be generous? Are you a cheerful giver, right? The Bible's not quote passage, what do you say about the Lord loves a cheerful giver, right? Kind of makes me think of that too. So when you're being generous, are you actually being generous? Are you being generous for this or that situation, right? Can you be generous or receive generosity with your own level of innocence, right? Like, wow, thank you so much. Can you not continuously receive generosity, like taking from somebody else's energy and creating an imbalance in both systems, right? So there's a lot of different things you can play with here. Pages of Swords, always new perspective needed, right? So change your mind. It's hard and as easy as that. Okay, let's clear for Capricorn. What is it that our Capricorns need to hear today? Just some practical advice or guidance for our Cappies. Ooh, we get the Strength card and the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so the sixes, we've been talking about generosity, blast from the past, memories, childhood, nostalgia, things like that. The Six of Pentacles to me also is like an imbalance, right? There's the sixes, there's some kind of imbalance that we're trying to correct. And so what are we trying to correct is this strength. So Capricorn, I read a passage this morning that basically was like, don't complain to people. And while that is useful because complaining to people will bring them down, there is a time and a need where you need to air your grievances, right? And so airing your grievances would be with you in spirit, and start there, you know, just start there, like air your grievances to spirit and see what happens, because this is about your inner strength, and you don't really want to take anybody down with your grievances. You want to kind of self-actualize and realize and transform and reconfigure some of those grievances into potential energy that can be used constructively and positively for you. Okay, Capricorn, you don't have to be so bullheaded. You don't have to snake attack anybody, right? You don't have to look like innocently wondering it. Like, there's lots of symbolism here. The raven, the heart. Okay. The raven symbolizing big magic. Okay, after Capricorn comes Aquarius. So let's clear for Aquarius. See what it is our Aquarius needs to hear. We got a Nine of Swords, a Knight of Cups. Okay, Aquarius, something that is kind of haunting you, keeping you up at night, or that like metaphorically keeping you up at night, like something that's really just kind of under your skin that you haven't been able to fix or get out of your system just quite yet. The Knight of Cups reminds us it's like you're going to have to love it out of yourself. So this isn't something that is fixed externally in therapy, in the bars, in music halls, right? This is something that's fixed internally. So this thing that's really bothering you seems to be, maybe you're not quite aware of it yet. It's in the subconscious realm, but as you become aware of it, start to try to hug on your inner child, love on your inner child, and just, you know, take that person, that small one inside of you, and reparent them in a way that you need in that moment. Doesn't mean your parents did anything wrong. They didn't. There's no fault living here, right? But it feels like there's a part of you that just needs that nurturing, and I think that'll calm your nervous system down. Okay, all right, let's read for Pisces and see what it is that our Pisces need to hear for the weekend ahead. Some practical advice or guidance for any of our Pisces. Okay, Page of Swords, Page of Cups. Pisces, this is about having a beginner's mind and getting right with yourself, telling yourself the truth, and being loving and sweet to yourself. You do need to change your perspective, and the perspective needs to be like way back down here. Just take it down to the level of innocence, not the level of intellect and pure, like this spreadsheets. Like, no, this is just about how do I really feel, being honest about how do I really feel, and then having a beginner's mind. That is going to be the best advice I can give you, Pisces, for the weekend ahead. Always good to have a beginner's mind, because it's like going forward with open hands. It's like, what can I give? How am I receiving? This is my offering. Like the open hands, open hearts, right? What's the Friday Night Light one? Big hearts, open eyes, can't lose. What is it? All right, good. Let's do a universal reading for everybody. Just clearing for a universal reading. Asking, what is it from Spirit that everybody needs to hear for the weekend ahead? Some practical advice or guidance. Just a universal reading, something that where everybody can just feel touched by the spiritual world, seen by the unseen world. The Knight of Swords and the Hermit. Okay, so I would say this kind of echoes that message of not complaining, right? So there's a time and a place to air our grievances and to start first in prayer, not to let prayer be the last thing that we do, but to start with prayer first. Have I brought God in? Have I brought Spirit in? Have I brought Creator in? Have I been sensitive to that? Having your alone time to air your grievances, get it out on paper. Don't bring somebody else's energy into that until it can become constructive and that you've got some kind of solution. Now, there are times when we need to air things out, and there are safe friends that's okay. But some friends would like to hear that stuff, those complaints and grievances, so that they can kind of stay down and angry about something like with you. And this is just not helpful right now, right? So processing our emotions internally, taking responsibility for how we feel, and trying to move through some of our grievances alone first, and then reaching out to connect with constructive solutions with others. Okay. The Hermit is when we need to unplug, and sometimes we're the ones plugging into other people, and sometimes other people are the ones plugging into us. But either way, it's this energy of being in your own auric field for at least a little bit, right? This weekend. You don't have to meditate to connect with Spirit. Okay. You don't have to be holy to connect with your spiritual side. It helps, right? It does help. But I just feel like there's a stepping back going on. And this is a great time of year to be doing that, right? This is a great time of year to be looking inside. Watch the movies, watch the yoga movies, watch Awake about Yogananda, watch the movies about Krishna Das, watch about the people that are going on spiritual journeys. We're in a 7-month and a 6 year, right? And so this is about coming to your spiritual home, coming home to your spiritual home, wherever that might be. October is a precursor for next year in the numerology. So we're in a 7-month. Next year we'll be in a 7-year, and this will be kind of that quest energy, that searching energy, that longing to understand the afterlife, that longing to understand what we're here for, that longing to understand that connection back to ourselves. So this could be a good weekend to do some of that. And there's a lot of great movies out there that will help you, in books and meditations and stuff like this. A lot of cool stuff on Insight Timer. If you use the Insight Timer app, you can just like search sitar and sit for hours with your incense and just have a great, self party. Okay. All right. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm Tiffany. Please subscribe and like the video, and we'll see you next time for Tarot Friday. If we can help you with a one-on-one session, or if you're interested in our membership for ongoing support, check us out at wiseskiescollective.com. Until next time, namaste.